Hello, this is a preview of our March antique sale, and to start the sale this month we have about the first 20 lots, I think, are all royal connected items. So all these hotly contested pieces, they've all come from a very well connected local family who are obviously very close to the royal family. You can see the first lot in the sale here are photos of the Queen and Prince Philip and the Queen Mother, and they've signed them as well in pen on the margin there, and they're 1980, all in their original leather and gilded royal photo frames as well. So we're selling those as a set of three of those, estimated sort of 300 to 500 for those. But all this first collection on the table here are all from the same house. Really interesting group. First here on the end of the table are some Christmas cards. So again from the Queen and Prince Philip, that one is 1960. And that lot there are 10 Christmas cards there in one lot there. And every one of them is signed by the Queen and Prince Philip. There's 1966. Fantastic lot. So 10 in one lot. And the next lot again, 10 more. Again, signed as well. Quite rare things to find individually, but we're selling those in groups of 10. And then looking further down the table, lots of things here. State banquet, menu cards and seating plans. There's a whole pile of them there in one lot, and these are Christmas cards individually made by Norman Hartnell, who made the Queen's dresses, and so those are all signed by Norman Hartnell and all handmade by him as well. There are piles of documents here. This here is a folder with everything connected with the state visit to Kuwait in 1979. So lots of travel documents and brochures and all sorts in there. Things relating to the funeral of Winston Churchill. There is an original leather-bound brochure that would have been carried by someone in the congregation at the funeral in 1965. And that's an interesting thing there as well. There's albums of photographs here and travel photos to India. Fascinating selection here. Again, all from the same house. What else have we got here? Let's just have a bit further look down the table here. There's a lot to look through this time. Furniture is still being set out over here, so some nice antique furniture in this sale. There's a French display cabinet at the back of the room there that's filling up at the moment. And then we'll carry on around the corner here to this Norwegian dining suite. So not everything in the antique sale that has to be antique, but this is a very fashionable rosewood set. So this is an original set, and it was designed by Hans Bratrud, and here is the original brochure as well that goes with it. And there's the chairs, the Scandia Junior rosewood chair there, and a rare set as well. You see these reproduced, but not very often, the originals. And a set of this should be sort of 12 to 1500 at least, I should think, for the 4 chairs and the table. But extremely comfortable. Here it is. Now, let's carry on down the rail here. Lots of studio and art glass in this sale as well, from several local houses that we've cleared. But very stylish pieces of glass. Look at that. That's probably Monart, I would have thought, Scottish art glass. And these, you'd probably find 2 bowls like that together. I'd expect those to make sort of 60 to 80 pounds for the 2 pieces. That's Whitefriars. It's a nice sort of blue petrol colour. That's Whitefriars. Whitefriars always has this polished pontil mark underneath the base. So if you're not sure, if you turn it over, it should have that well-finished mark under there. And that should make sort of 80 or 100 pounds for that one. But there's masses of that glass, and you'll see a bit more in a minute. Lots of oriental things as well this time. What else have we got? Quite a few toys in the sale. And that's a Second World War Channel jacket from a German Luftwaffe pilot. It's quite a rare jacket there. We've got some jewellery over here. It's always a good selection of jewellery in this sale. I've just picked out a couple of things that are very different, but this one I've picked out because it's in such immaculate condition. So this is Victorian gold with turquoise and coral and diamonds, and it's a hinged bangle. It has a little glass panel in the back that would have held a lock of hair or a small portrait. And with it, unusually, is the original pendant, which also is gold, with a panel on the back for the lock of hair again. But absolutely beautiful condition. They're probably never worn, and estimate of those is going to be 1,000 to 1,500. Well worth that. Should be a bit more really. And at the other end of the spectrum is this very stylish silver bracelet, which is by Georg Jensen, Georg Jensen more like, in his homeland, but it's sterling silver, very stylish thing, sort of late 60s, early 70s designer bracelet. And this one was owned by Peter Grant, who was manager of Led Zeppelin. He gave that to his wife. That's a stylish thing. Should make sort of 300 or 400, I should think, that one. And in the watch section, we've just picked out this one, which is an immaculate IWC automatic wristwatch. That's a really smart thing, isn't it? Very wearable watch. I should have thought that's going to be a couple of 1,500 to 2,000, something like that. And then having a look along the cabinets here again, lots of more art glass. Loads of it this time. Very nice painting in the end there as well. Sort of early 19th century English oil painting that should be 800 to £1,000, something like that. A very good early bronze Buddha here, a Chinese bronze Buddha. So you may have seen us selling one of these on TV, well, quite a few months ago. That was a very similar thing that made about £3,000, I think. And this is similar sort of version, but I think quite a lot earlier, this one. So hopefully sort of 4,000 to 5,000 or so for that one. A lot more things here. This is interesting. So this is a piece of tribal art. So this is from Luango, which is near Congo in Africa, and it's carved from a hippo tusk. And someone in the village has carved portraits spiralling along here, portraits of all the villagers. And you can see they're all individual studies. They're not just abstracts, they're portraits of actual people in the village. Interesting thing. That came from a local house we cleared. That was on the sideboard and was about to be thrown away. Probably going to make 150 to 200 at least, I should think, that one. And lots more things. Collection of daggers here. Again, from a local private deceased estate, that collection. This is nice. So, really like this. It's a genuine old photograph of Churchill, probably opening a summer fete, but just a very personal image there, just capturing him and Clementine Churchill as well. That's an interesting thing. Difficult to value, really, but probably around £100 maybe for that one. Lovely bronze rhino there, Chinese bronze, fantastic thing. If you haven't seen one of these before, they're amazing works of art. It's a clockwork automaton bird in a cage. So you wind it up and there's a clockwork movement inside it, and that's what they sound like. Amazing things. And luckily it has an off button. This one here is a plaster maquette, and this is by Oscar Niemann, who is the same chap who produced the Churchill bronze in Parliament Square. Did quite a few studies of Churchill and a lot of other major historical figures. We don't know who this is actually. I don't know who it's a portrait of, but it came from the same collection as all the royal stuff I was showing you earlier. So it'll be someone in their family, but by a very good recorded artist there. Stone pharaoh's head. Not particularly old, that one, probably 100-year-old, but it is carved stone. Quite smart, isn't it? And lots of pictures this time as well. So the picture sale is on the Thursday, and we've got about 300 lots. We're just hanging them now. But part of the collection of this time is a lot of watercolours that are stained glass window designs and travel pictures by Herbert Hendry, who's a Scottish artist. He was in the Royal Cambrian Association of Artists. So he was very well known for stained glass window designs. So that's one of his there. And I'll show you another one in a second. But he travelled in Italy in the 1920s, and we've got about a dozen or so watercolours by him. So I'll show you a few. This one is by him, which I think is Monton. And there's this one as well, a street scene there. And that one is by him. It's a magnificent collection. All come directly from his family, who decided to sell a few by him. But that's a fantastic selection. And this one over here is by him as well. I'll just squeeze past and show you. It's an incredibly detailed design there from a church in Norwich. And that's the original that they would have made the window from. And there's lots of other interesting and very fashionable things in the picture sale this time. Robert Taverner lithographs and lino cuts. They always sell very well, these Taverners. And they're always signed in pencil and limited edition, and usually make between £100 and £200 each, something like that. So this sale is next Wednesday and Thursday. The whole catalogue is online now, so you can browse through the whole lot on the internet. There's multiple photos of every lot in the sale. So it's antique sale Wednesday, picture sale on Thursday, but we're viewing on Monday and Tuesday of next week. So all day, both days, but please come and have a look. Thank you very much.